So, fellas, have you seen today? Bob Arum's done a piece. It's in World Boxing News. He says he can't envisage any situation where an AJ against Fury fight will be in Britain.
You know what? I could actually. I know it's not nice for us Brits to hear this, but I actually see that. You know, they're going to go where the money is. And look at the population of America. What is it, 270 million? So the money they'll be able to generate, put it over there. Saudi Arabia again. China again. I just don't think financially we can. It's only morally why you'd say it's in the UK. But for any other reason, you can understand why it'll be held anywhere else in the world, because it's the biggest fight out there. Look, you had two Americans, Ali and Foreman, boxing in Zaire. You know, two Americans in Africa, and you just think that they're going to go where the most amount of money is.
Yeah, no, I'm with Johnny, and I've been pretty vocal, sort of saying, you know, it'd be a massive shame for the UK if we don't get this fight. You know, the biggest fight in Britain, as I keep saying, not to happen in Britain would be a massive shame, and it would. But I think I'm sort of getting my head around it now that it's probably very unlikely that it is going to happen here. You just mentioned it then, and whether, like you say, whether it be China, whether it be Vegas casinos will pay mad money, or whether it be Saudi, we just don't know, do we? It's but we seem to be talking. The UK just doesn't seem to be in the running for it, does it? I know there's a long way to go yet, but there's very few people talking about it being over here.
You do, but you think as well, when does that take fight to? Because if they're saying it can't be in Britain, and then obviously America completely shut down at the minute, innit? Nobody can get in and out of America. It's just closed it off.
Yeah.
And so with Corona happening, when does that take it to, do you think?
Listen, I think seriously, I think you're talking the back end of the year. I think you're talking seriously to promote, to push, to prepare, not just the fighters. I mean, logistically, such a big event, you're going to need a mass of people. Well, you look at when they AJ boxed Ruiz in Saudi Arabia. Look how many people it took. I think it was over 500 members of staff to erect the building itself. It's going to take far too many people to gather together for there to be no restrictions at all. And so I think you're talking more or less about the end of the year. Realistically,
I think next year, mate. I think next year. I think first of all, I know we've got the two fights to obviously the Pulev and the Wilder fight. I know that's got to be dealt with in that situation. But I think, you know, Johnny was mentioning it there about, you know, the build up to it. I think that kind of fight's got to have a huge build up. It's got to have a world tour, hasn't it? Do you know, there's got to be press conferences in the UK, over in the States, whether it be in Saudi or China, where it's going to be. They're going to go all over with that, and then they're going to have the camp. I honestly see him announcing it at least 10 weeks before, and then I just don't see you being able to do that world tour this year. That's why I think it's going to go into next. I don't see you being able to go in all those places.
Even with holidays, aren't they? Even with normal holidays, they're already saying don't plan an holiday this year. You can't plan it. If that's what travel's looking like, kind of can't see it.
It's basically about lifting people's morale. And they've got to try and talk positively about what they want in the wish list. And listen, even if the government said, I don't know, today or tomorrow, it's dropped. Logistically, they've got to make sure. It takes a lot of time and timing. It takes a lot of planning. I've seen when Sky put on an event and they're looking for somewhere like Wembley, it's months of planning ahead of schedule. Cameramen, camera crew, edits, slots, and everything. There's a lot to take into consideration.
Yeah, Johnny, do you know the arena out there for AJ and Ruiz too? Can you remember what it held?
I can't remember off the top of my head. I remember it was down, and within 2 weeks after, it's Tuesday after, he was being sent to Tokyo to use that to Tokyo. It was all scaffolding. Pure scaffolding. Pure scaffolding. They put it on. He said this will be a waste.
Obviously,
couple of times.
They're gonna, if it happens there, they're obviously gonna make it a lot bigger. Than the original one. Like, see, you will not be able to make a stadium or an arena big enough for that fight, will you?
Nah, not at all. That's what I'm saying. It's got to be somewhere big, maybe even outside, but it depends on what time of year it is.
Yeah.
I think if you're talking about for a crowd and not just a site fee, then it's going to end up in Vegas, innit? But if it's just for a site fee, who can put up most money? Does Saudi care how many? If it's in Saudi Arabia, do they care how many people come? Are they that bothered?
No, that's what I'm saying. They can afford to sit on it like that because it's just the kudos that it attracts and the future business that attracts in Saudi Arabia. So Saudi Arabia is one of the very few countries that can afford to not worry about how many people rock up.
Yeah, just put it on. So we'll watch and see, but it looks like it's slipping away from Britain, doesn't it? That's for sure.
Yeah.
So here's one that's a bit left field. We spoke yesterday, Johnny, when we spoke to Robert Garcia, we were saying about Mayweather saying some rumours around Mayweather boxing Broner, because Broner's been pretty vociferous on social media saying somebody's got to pay him 10 million or he ain't fighting and he wants 10 million. And Floyd said he were retired, but I've just seen today that Broner, bit of a shock this one, he's gone to train with Roberto Garcia.
Has he?
Yeah, and
Broner's gone to train with Roberto.
Yeah.
Wow, didn't see that coming.
Yeah, but no. But whose mouth is this coming from? Whose horse's mouth is coming from?
Apparently been announced today that he's gone to train there. He's gone to train with Roberto Garcia.
Has he? That's interesting. So what do you think of what you're saying? You're talking about these rumours being true about Mayweather stepping up.
Well, two things. I don't know. After speaking to Roberto yesterday, you wouldn't have thought Broner were the type of kid who'd fit in that.
Yes.
Yeah, at all.
Not a chance. No, not with because he says he's genuinely like he turns down a lot of big names and he's passionate about sort of taking those kids from the amateurs. He's got 30 fighters and I think everyone who he takes on or who brings to the amateurs, he looks at them as a potential world champion, doesn't he? I know not every one of them is going to reach that, but you think, like you say, the satisfaction he gets is from them. So be a strange one. They're there again. He talked about a challenge, didn't he, when we was saying about Eddie Alonso with Andrew Ruiz. For a trainer, Broner, as much as what you imagine would be a bit of an headache, it'd certainly be a challenge. If you can get him fighting to his potential, then you would come out covered in glory, wouldn't you? And a lot of self-satisfaction as well.
I get that, but the problem is this: he's got other fighters as well. And you know what it's like being a trainer. You're like a father, social worker, psychologist, best mate to him. So if Broner rocks up in the gym, if he becomes disruptive, where it becomes detrimental to everybody else and anybody else, I don't think it'll last 2 minutes. And that's where you've got to stop. And so again, it's a case of I wonder who's actually going to be hands-on with him in the gym.
Yeah.
Just the devil's in the detail. So he might be going to the gym to train, but it's a case of who's actually going to be hands-on with him.
Yeah, it's interesting. But he must have got something lined up to relocate and go out and train there.
Yeah, of course. Look, a fighter won't do it otherwise. A fighter won't take himself away from the comforts of home to do it otherwise.
Think there's any legs in that Mayweather story?
Nah, I can't. I can't say it. Mayweather, for what reason? It's all right. Mayweather says and does a lot of things now, and whatever he says, it's going to hit the headlines. But I'm just trying to find the motivation for Mayweather. I just can't find one. Is he bored? Is he going for a midlife crisis? I don't know. I just don't. And to be honest, when he boxed McGregor, even though it was McGregor and Mayweather knew what was in front of him, there were signs that I thought, well, your timing's off a little bit there. You're slipping a little bit there.
Yeah.
You look a bit flat-footed there. It might have been that his expectations of him were low, but I just think if Mayweather's smart, the people are smart behind him, and they've got a voice, they'll talk common sense into him.
Well, it's a funny relationship anyway, because them two, 1 minute they're like, they're brothers, the best mates, and they're brothers, and next minute, like Broner will go on his Instagram account and be calling everybody every name under the sun. So you kind of don't know where they stand anyway, do you? But for a trainer, that were left field, that caught me out, that one.
Yeah, again, I can remember one time there was a talk of Tyson Fury coming to the gym, to our gym, Sheffield, and he gets on with everybody down there. But I just thought to myself, and Dominic was very professional about it, and Dominic basically said, look, I'm juggling a load of, like wild mice here, trying to round them all up. So to add Tyson to the mix, he's just going to create himself more of a bigger headache because he's playing puppet master to them all. So again, I think for Broner, I just think he needs one-on-one attention. He needs to be with somebody that'll give him 24/7 attention.
Yeah. You imagine, don't you? I think on paper, you think he'd want sort of an old school trainer, to try and sort of be a bit of discipline into him and sort of live him right, wouldn't you? But just sort of everything you see, and a lot of it obviously is for the cameras. He does want, you don't want to be disrespectful, do you, there, sort of, and say, he wants someone who, whereas he's running the ship a little bit, does it? That's what you'd imagine. I think that's what you'd imagine what Broner would want. But I think, certainly, if it was to Garcia, you can imagine if it can work and he can sort of install that mentality and he's around, and he's not the star of the gym. Do you know what I mean? Then that you imagine, but obviously, he's lost to Garcia, hasn't he, to Micah? But there's other great fighters in that gym, and he might be third, fourth down the pecking order in that gym, and that might be what he needs to sort of get a bit of hunger back to think, you know what, I'm going to fulfill this talent. If it's not too late already, I'm going to fulfill this.
Yeah, it's just an interesting one, and we'll see what happens. But I mean, that gym, like how Robert were talking yesterday, and some of the kids he's got in there, you should imagine it's brutal. It'll be brutal to keep up in there.
Yeah. But I think it'd be a little bit sink or swim for him, as much as like saying that about a freeweight world champion, but it would be.
If he starts tossing it off and messing around, you can just see him getting, can't you?
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. With that situation, listen, you might be outworking him, outjob him. Say, I'll come in my gym and see, and check his ego and see, right, if you really want it, this is the situation. That might just be the case.
Yeah, see what happens, see if it works out. Hopefully it works out for him all. But took me by surprise, that one.
Yeah.
So rumours today, 18th or 25th of July will be the first boxing show in Britain. What do you reckon to that? Too soon, too late, sooner? What do you think?
Well, we'll see. I think there's a bit of truth, and I think they'll do the very best to make that happen. I know the board have put out sort of new regulations and guidelines yesterday, I think, just amending things or making things a little bit clearer. But Matchroom, Eddie's, he's made it no secret. That's what he wants to try and do. I think he might have been, pleased with that. He's seen how the UFC works weekend before last, and he might have thought, well, you know what, if they can do it, there's no reason why we can't make it happen. But I think we've all said, listen, it's much harder than hiring a studio out, hiring a gym out, whatever it may be, and making a show a success and it being sort of see how it flows. And I think what we will get is a little bit of trial and error. But I think now for the first time, I think we will see that show. I think we will see that show. The two dates you mentioned, one of them, I think they'll come out and say that's the date, and I think it'll happen. It'll just be interesting to see who's on the card, what kind of fights are on the card, and with the same no title fights and stuff like that. Yeah,
I agree with you.
Interesting.
I agree with you, and I think it's trial and error. I think before we get our feet back to normality, as we say in the boxing world, I think you're talking closer to Christmas. But until then, it's going to be trial and error in regards to crowds, in regards to social distancing, in regards to demographics and geographics of where it will be and how long it'll take to put together. So as you say, it's trial and error. It's great to be optimistic, but still, I think we're all still a little baffled from Boris's message on Sunday. So we still don't know where we stand. If we can go out, we can't go out. If we're going to travel to work, how we travel to work. So I think for our sporting event, I think it's still, we need clear clarification of what we can actually do and what we can't do.
Yeah, because it's one of those anyway. You can't go backwards. If they do something and something bad happens or it goes badly wrong, you're knackering yourself for a bit. And so whatever they do, they've got to be 100% sure it can be done right, haven't they?
Yeah, and that's why I think somewhere in the news this week after Boris's conversation, the London tubes were packed out of people going to work.
Yeah.
It's a total drop the ball, drop the mic thing. So you think, Jesus, how's that going to work? Is this going to backfire? So again, good to be optimistic, but let's be realistic.
See what happens. So this week, here's my favourite. Are you ready?
Go.
Are you ready? Are you sat comfortably, Johnny?
Yeah.
Right, I'll read you the quote first. It was an injury I had for a long time. I just wanted to be 100% fit for the fight, 100% healthy. So I looked at alternatives to get things done, and one thing led to another. I was seen by the doctors, and by the time it got signed off to do certain things towards the injury, I took a stem cell shot, which is known to have properties. They are very strong, and that's when I had the positive test for all those different failures on my drug control, on my doping control. Gerald Miller.
I'm going to say, as soon as you said for all those different ones, I thought, it's Miller. It's for Miller. I think it's not a case of what he took, it's a case of what he didn't take.
So he's not,
Well, that explains it all, doesn't it then? So, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah. Give him his license back. Well, I think he's got it back already.
Can't give him back what he never lost.
Yeah.
You know what? You've got to give him 10 out of 10 for something new, haven't you?
Listen, Gerald Miller, I think his PR company was it Wasserman here in London.
Yeah.
And I thought, wow, they've really, how has he managed that? So unless we're missing something where there's been a lot of investment and interest on him and with him corporately, you know, on a professional level, in and out of the boxing, I don't know. And I think probably this speech is to ease his way in, to basically apologise without apologising for failing a drug test. So I see what he's trying to do. It's just a case of what the reception is going to be like. Will he get caught again? Will he change his lifestyle? You don't know, but I think once that cloud's there, that cloud will always be there, regardless of you being cleared up or not.
Yeah, I just thought it was a good excuse. Listen, I follow it, as you know, and I've never heard that one, so I'm giving him full respect and props because it's something I've not heard before. He's not said he's kissed his girlfriend. He's not said he's cat food. It's just a new one, isn't it? Have you noticed, have you been following Eubank Jr.? He's out in a training camp with Jones. What do you think to that?
Wait, who's Vinnie Jones?
Roy Jones.
Vinnie Jones, really?
Roy Jones, yeah.
Jones, not Vinnie Jones.
Do you know
Vinnie
what?
Jones?
Yeah, so Junior and Roy Jones Jr. as well, isn't it? It's, I think that, do you know what? Stylistically, again, we've just been talking about it, and so a little bit, you know, with Garcia and Broner, but I think stylistically how Jones Jr. was as a fighter, you would have never put Eubank Jr., you know, with someone like that. But a lot of fighters will have different training methods, won't there, as well? And listen, there's no doubting Junior. I genuinely believe with Junior, if you stand in front of him, I remember we were saying it on here not long back, even with Triple G, I'm not saying for 1 minute he would have beat Triple G, but he would have had success. I genuinely believe that. But I think obviously there's no secret. I think what's going to cause Junior trouble is the fighters, you know, on the back foot, your Billy Joes who move a little bit.
Yeah.
If you're there sort of in front of Junior, he's going to really enjoy it and he's going to get shots off. But I think, you know, if Roy Jones Jr. can give him, you know, a little bit of craft, a bit more ring craft, a bit more movement, then, you know, it could be a great move. We don't know.
I think it's a good move because he's never really had a trainer, has he? Officially. No. Was with Ronnie Davis, and his dad said, my son doesn't need a trainer, that sort of bullshit.
Yeah, I think last time out, though, they seemed really happy, didn't they, with De Gale, who they brought in. And he seemed as good as ever, but obviously they've gone back on that.
Yeah, so getting involved with Roy Jones, I think, you see, what happens is you get a lot of ex-fighters that are happy to have somebody of a name to be under their wing as coaching them, so it gives them some props. I'm not sure Roy Jones is there. He's that kind of guy. It's like this way or no way. So I think it'd be a great union. I think he'll learn something. And again, even though Eubanks has achieved what he's achieved, I just think there's a lot of work to be done on him to improve as a fighter. It can only benefit.
I thought, do you know, like when you look at kids like Roy Jones, it's probably like Mayweather, isn't it? That they can do things. And if you said to them, how do you do that? They probably couldn't answer you. you know if he says
there's a lot of natural talent there, isn't there?
It's probably like Ronaldo, and he's saying, how do you take that free kick? He doesn't speak science. He's just got that gift and worked hard at it. So like people are probably getting, I think, carried away saying, "Oh, Eubank can't turn into Roy Jones," but I don't think Roy could teach him that anyway, because Roy. Yeah. Johnny, you remember, don't you? Because he were around our ages when he was flying, and you remember he was a little kid. He was just incredibly talented, weren't he? Massively talented.
Talented, speed, power, anticipation, and a lot of these things are you have instinctively. It's not something that you taught. You have it instinctively. So it'd be a tough one. It will be tough.
I think he was just an absolute athlete, wasn't he? I think he could play basketball at a very high level, couldn't he? And I just think he was an all-round athlete. It's and like you said, he was blessed sort of with things that you can't really teach a fighter. But listen, like you say, if he can add something to Junior's game, because there is, as brilliant as he's doing, he's still inexperienced in a way, isn't there?
Apparently today's an anniversary as well. Somebody texted me earlier. It's the anniversary of Roy Jones Jr. against Richard Hall. And apparently it was the first ever fight where what happened?
Go on.
Yes, go on, Crawler, quick.
It wasn't where they both failed.
You're too smart, Crawler. Yeah.
I knew, pal, yes. They both failed a drug test after the fight. It got kept very quiet, am I right in saying that?
Yeah. Whatever he got, although Ross like 4 or 5 times over. But it was first fight.
Jesus.
So it'll be interesting to see what they do, but I don't see him teaching Junior a load of new tricks. Maybe it's just polishing him up and working on basics.
That's my clean.
Hey, Richard.
That's my clean.
Hello.
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 Martin.
That's me cleaner. Get out!
No, listen. Where's
this is live. I'm just saying. Keep that in. Keep that in.
Will do.
Right, have I got the keys to your house? Thank you.